I want to give a special shout out to my friend, Mayor Parrish. She really set the example, along with Mayor Del Duca, in cutting DCs in half recently and deferring until occupancy. But I think, Mayor, I'm right when I say are you over 12,000 starts now this year based on that result? And her great line was, if you take a great big fat development charge and multiply it by 0 homes built, you still equal 0. But, she's doing a great job, and I'll talk a little bit later on about what we're doing in Peel. And she was a great leader in helping bring together some clear opportunities to look at infrastructure going forward through Municipal Service Corps. Following Mayor Parrish's example, we've legislated municipalities to defer development charges until occupancy. That's going to free up cash flow for the home builders so they get shovels in the ground, hopefully faster, and kickstart this housing crisis. And we are in a crisis.
I was reading about her terrific housing council that she created and a whole series of responses, and then she reacted to it very quickly, which I thought was quite commendable. But one I really liked, Mayor Parrish, was your 3 strikes and you're in. I really love that. It's like one of the biggest. I was at a meeting yesterday morning with major developer in your jurisdiction who said, oh my God, I go back and forth and another study and another requirement. I'm trying to get site plan approval. I just can't get it. It's going to take months. And your new direction, 3 strikes and you're in, I think is brilliant.
Well, thank you, Andy. This is the document we produced. It's called Partners in Home Building. What we did as soon as I got elected, and I got elected in a by-election, and I've been in politics a very long time, so I can be really brave because I'm more towards the end of a career than at the beginning. So you don't have to worry about getting reelected 14 more times. So you go into the position by, you actually watch.
Parrish, I don't mean to interrupt, but I read some of your history in politics back to 1993. You've always been brave.
Pulled together about 35 of the top developers and builders in our area. And everybody says, well, why do you want to listen to the builders? They just want to make money. No, I want to listen to the builders because they're the guys that are going to be building the houses and get us out of this mess. And the first session we had, the topic was, what are we doing wrong in our planning department and in our city? And as you mentioned, the gentleman said to us, and ladies, that we've put plans in, we get them back with 25 problems. We put them back in, we get them back with 65 new problems. We put them in again, and it goes on and on and on, sometimes for 9 months. And time is money. So we listened very carefully. We took down all the suggestions that we got from our builders and our developers, and we incorporated that into a whole new planning regime here at the city. And the 3 strikes and you're in was the fun one, because they were telling us about these repeated submissions. And we said, okay, from now on, at the end of your second submission, you come in, your planners come in with red pens, and our planners sit on the other side of the table with red pens, and nobody leaves the room until everything's fixed. And that is working beautifully. Mayor Del Duca copied it, and he's enjoying it as well. We're speeding up plans going through. There's lots of other things we've done, and the minister addressed them in Bill 17. We also immediately reduced our DC charges. We're told by our developers that up to 25 to 30% of the cost of a new home is all this bureaucracy and all the fees and all the nonsense. So we immediately reduced our DCs by 50% at the end of January. It took us a little longer to get the Peel region to agree to it. They just agreed to it a couple of weeks ago. Their portion of the DCs are much higher than the city ones. So the developers were kind of on pause to see if we could get it through at the region. And the reason we got it through at the region was because of the minister. He came through with his plan on wastewater as a public utility experiment. And with that came a promise of $1.3 billion for infrastructure. And we have Caledon and Brampton in the region of Peel as well as we are. And they need that infrastructure, especially in Caledon, where they have to put all new pipes in and they have to do all the roads and all the things that need to be done. We also did a lot of changes to our zoning. We had 14 residential zones in Mississauga, which is ridiculous. We now have two zones, large lots and small lots. So you can have a neighborhood with single family houses and somebody can actually do something wild and go in there and build a semi or a fourplex or whatever seems to fit the lot. But we ended up coming up with a potential of another 124,000 units for a total of 370,000 units of the submission in our new OP. This year, right now, we're at 11,004 in early stages with 1,467 with the shovels in the ground on new applications. So it is making a difference. And we're noticing a surge just in the last couple of weeks with the reduction on the PILD DCs. We also put in $44 million into an account for truly affordable rentals. And we've had 9 applications for that. 8 have been picked up. So that 44 million will be distributed in September to those developers who have agreed to do right at market or below market rent for 25 years. The other thing we did was we got a motion through the region for purpose-built rentals to reduce their property taxes by 35% and committed that for 35 years. So we are getting a huge boom in these applications in purpose-built affordable. The other thing we did was we suggested 100% reduction in DCs if you build a 3-bedroom unit, because we're really looking at building for the middle, not necessarily just the people who need deep affordability, but all those people. We're building a new hospital in Mississauga, thanks very much to the province. And we're expecting 2,400 new employees. And a lot of them will be technicians, people starting in jobs that they've studied to do, new nurses. We need apartments built around there, rental apartments built around there that will accommodate a small family, a start family. We have neighborhoods where the schools are half empty, and you need to get young families in there with kids.
I've heard things in the mayor and minister's commentary that I never would have heard a year ago. DC reductions, streamlining studies, reducing those 2 binders that the minister put up. I wrote them down because it was so numerous. Deferring DCs to reduce costs, 100% rebate on 3-bedroom units. These are all the types of necessary change that we need across the province and to really amplify in order to solve the frustration that the 3 of us have talked about with people looking to buy homes.